back to going to what I was saying that you will next label the bags and the numbers. You break the parts off, okay, and then once you do that, you'll separate them by the part color. We went over that, and then uh, let's next week we're going to get to the point where not maybe later this week where we're going to spray paint each one, and we're going to show how to spray paint the parts individually to get and let them dry where they don't cross connect with other parts of the same color because they'll dry together. So you want to keep some separation, and you want to get it where it's going to be a smooth look, a finished look, and a professional look. Okay, and after that, we'll be ready to start after the paint dries on all of it. You know, we will let it dry, and then we'll come back and start putting things together in the next episode after we do the paint. So next coming up next time we do a video is going to be separating the parts, showing how we do it as far as the painting of the parts and keeping them in order. But and I don't have to really illustrate what a baggie is. You know what it is. And I don't have to illustrate really how to break it off, but I will do it here. You can use what's called I call it an X-Acto knife, okay? But basically it's a very sharp knife that's used in crafts, arts and crafts, and you would cut it along the edge of the piece of plastic. Some of it is big enough that you can actually break it off, but you with the smaller ones you risk doing breaking them and breaking these parts. Something like this, I wouldn't do that because, as you can see, it's a pretty big piece, okay, and it's very thin. So you want to be careful not to bend it too much because what happens is it is plastic and it will break. So you have to be gentle in this case. Now, other larger parts with more bulk to it like this, it's more forgiving and it'll allow you to wiggle it like that, but it's going to leave a edge on here. That's why you use the X-Acto knife to cut it, and you always cut away from yourself, never cut towards yourself and risk injury, and keep your hands out of the way and allow yourself enough room to operate and to cut these parts off. And once you cut these pieces off, again, you want to use the color code system where these are color coded and put them in a baggie and separate them and paint them. We're going to paint them by color. Okay? That'll be our next video. And then we're going to get started and have some fun. That's going to be interesting, and you can see how you may have to be patient with the gluing process, because sometimes I used to get in a rush where I would want to hurry up and finish one section and get to the next section, and then I end up with intermingling the glue too much with the paint, and then now the paint wants to come off the part, and now you got a gummy mess, because when the cement glue interacts with the paint, that type of paint that we're using, it's going to cause a chemical reaction and cause it to get rubbery, and so you don't want to intermingle these parts too much with once they're painted with the glue. Okay, and the glue is very strong. It don't use Elmer's or stuff like that unless Elmer's is a brand that you like and it has cement glue. I never use that. I use Testers, and I think I might have one, but it's called Testers, and you have a blue one and you have a red one. And the blue one is non-flammable, and the red one is flammable. So you want to be careful using that. And the red one does have a strong odor to it, and the blue uh, the blue testers cement is less less stingent with the smell. Okay, I want to try to find it and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. So kind of bear with me, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what I'm speaking of. This here is a little bag that I have. This is the glue that I use for this. This is testers, and you can see that it comes. Uh, the maker is Rust-Oleum. Okay, and you can get it at any hobby shop. Generally, it it if you could read the instructions, it shows you that it's uh, non-toxic cement. Okay, that's the blue, and it's made by testers. I've used them ever since I was a little kid, but only as a little kid they didn't have the non-toxic. They only had the red one, which is this guy right here. And this is the testers. This is for more of a harder, stronger cement, but this is flammable, okay, whereas the other one is non-toxic, okay. But at any rate, if you read the instructions on here, it says cement for plastic models. That's what you want, okay, and it says danger, it says warning, flammable, okay. Of course, the safety precautions is on the back. Read it before you even open it if you decide to use the red one. Me personally, I only like this one. As you can see, this one hasn't been opened. When I went to get it, these weren't, everybody's using these pretty much because it's just non-toxic. The smell is not as strong, and I even sometimes put on a mask if I'm if I have to be in an enclosed type of area. Put on the face mask like it's COVID or something. So again, the red one is red. Usually the red, the color will let you know. Okay, red means danger. Okay, blue, it says, I'm gonna read that one, and it says non-toxic. Okay, this says non-toxic. This one here says flammable and vapor. And I'm not going to read it all, but this has a strong vapor to it. Me personally, I would say stick with the non-toxic. That way, if heaven forbid that any kid or anybody gets to it, you don't want them to have to be rushed to the hospital with this stuff. So I personally don't use this. I just have it as an example. This is the only one I use, and it's non-toxic, and I don't worry about the smell of it, the odor too much. You really can't really smell it. If you vent it in a ventilated room, you should be okay. Okay, so that's where we are now. Again, next week I'm going to have all of this here. We've broken off, and I'm going to have it separated. So if you're going to follow along with this, if you have one or if you have the exact same one, we can do it together. Or if you have a different one, we can still do it together. You just do yours according to your color scheme or whatever. Just have your paints available, and we're going to work on getting everything painted together. Okay? And I also have a another little trick that I have for you. And what that is it's not a trick, but you don't have to buy the paints. You got some of these that are enamel paint markers types things here, okay? And this is paint, okay? But what I can tell you is it comes in a lot handy, a lot better than the getting the one with the jars that you got to open it. You got to wash the container out, the palette with the color palette, little dips in it, things like that. You know, you have all different ways you can go. This one here, you got these type here for larger surfaces. It's a model color, okay? As you can see, with a paintbrush, you would need to apply this. You would dip it down, squeeze this into one of those little plastic, sort of like a, almost like a painter has on his hand when he's painting a big painting. They have the smaller ones that's got little dips in them, and you can put your color in there, the different colors right here, and they're rewashable. Okay, so you can reuse it. I'll show you one of those next week, in a couple of days. And then this one here, of course, is red. Okay, but they're pretty good. They last quite a while because you don't really need to use that much, but you use this on these very fine parts here to get the colors that you need and to not make a big mess. Okay, that's one thing, one way you can do it. Another one is these guys here. You have about 5 different colors in here, okay, that I use. I get these as well, and those are for the intricate parts of the vehicle that kit that requires you to be really precise and not use too much paint, but you want to make it as realistic as possible. Okay, that's one way we can do it. And as you can see, this one comes with, you got a white one, a yellow one, a red one, a silver one, a blue, and then you got another darker silver or lighter silver. Okay, so that's one way. And then there's another one that's a little bit smaller that I don't know what I have it with me right now, but here's one of them right here. Okay, these are even smaller, and these are for like door handles and steering wheels and things of that nature. All of this is not a marker. This is paint. Okay, so don't be on your couches, your wives, or your significant others' couch painting this stuff unless you really know what you're doing. And this here is, like I said, the color of it is to give that wood look for a steering wheel or whatever the case. If I opened it up, it'll look like a marker right here, but look how tiny the tip of it is. Okay, it's really precise work you want to do. And this also is a very nice way to get it done, nice and precise. Okay, and they come in different colors too. They're gonna be hard to find them, I can tell you that much, because the colors of them, they go quick. Okay, so you have a lot of people out there that likes to do this type of stuff. This one here is for the door, sort of like the door latches. This is chrome, actually. This is gives that chrome look. The paint is chrome, but it's very very small. It has the same size head as the other one, and this one is chrome, and this is super chromed. Okay, and as you can see, this is called liquid chrome. Okay, very nice, very good to have this where you can do the handles, because some of them, depending upon the skill level, they'll have that handle built into. Let me see if I can show you. like this guy here, okay, right here, the door handle is built into it. If I get it close enough to you, you see this here, this little rectangle right here, okay, is very small and tiny. But if you want to get it realistic as possible, you want to get that chrome look in there right around the edge, just like a real vehicle, okay? And then, you go from there. Sometimes you might have a silver piece that, like the real vehicle, have it going along the body right there, all the way, and then right around here by the front lights, turn signals, right there. In the rear, you got the rear light, tail light, has chrome around there. And then, of course, up in the windows here, you're going to have metal if you want it to look realistic all the way around here. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to look great when you get it done. And then some parts here, you may see up in here, some may be chrome on a real vehicle, and then even down up in here in the battery area, engine area, engine compartment, and then some of these items here is going to require you to have, depending upon how intricate you want to get with this, it's going to look good when you do it, but you're going to have to be patient. Right up in here where the hood is let down here, this part is generally metal, not chrome, but the chrome is right there in the middle. Some of them has, like right here where the gas is, right here, this is going to be silver on some of them vehicles. Okay, I mean some of them come with a gas cap that's chrome already that you can glue in there. But if it's a different color, you want to paint it while it's off before you put it in there. This is where the I guess the act of being patient comes in handy. You may not finish it. If you want to finish it quick, you're probably going to get a big mess, get stuff everywhere, and you're going to get discouraged. Take one step at a time, relax, have fun with it, and we'll have a nice result at the end, and you'll feel good about it. I mean, when I first started, and I'm going to show you some of those vehicles, it wasn't that pretty, okay? I wasn't patient enough. I hadn't did it in years, like I told you, coming up. But when I got as a teenager and went to the military and blah, 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 I got away from it, and I just came back to it recently, trying to calm myself as far as I'm getting older now, and I want to do something that makes me feel relaxed. And this is a very attention, not attention, but tension removing, relieving, and gives you a little patience to be patient with the hustles and bustles of life, okay? When things get stressful, it doesn't lead you to smoking and all these other things that's going to eventually, I know we all got to leave here, but why leave here earlier than you have to? So just find another way, an alternative to a negativity, and then just use it. Use this type of medium to get you to a point where you're at rest and at peace and living your life happily. Okay, I got about 2 more minutes. I want to make sure I covered everything. Let's see, we are going to the tools that's necessary, I guess we would say, can be anywhere from a paintbrush, okay, to a toothbrush to brush off the dust and everything, to a sander if you get too much. There's a strip that goes on here, but you use it to kind of sand. Once you put the strip on there, you sand if you got something to smooth it out and all of that stuff. If you made a mistake, because nobody's perfect. That's one thing. And these here are different types of sanders that's used. Okay, these look small. They look like pencils, but they're actually sanders. Okay, you can sand with them. They're plastic sanding needles is what they're called, okay? and they do a good job on evening out surfaces and tight corners and things like that if you made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so that's another thing. I did show you, I do believe, the paintbrush. If not, this is a paintbrush. Very fine tip on it. Okay, this one has to be cleaned, but it actually is really, really tiny and can get up into the real tight spots that you can't get into with a larger a brush. Okay, and like in the tail light area and stuff like that. And then right up in here, make it neat. Okay, that's another thing we can do. And then you got also, to get in tiny corners here, you can get swabs. These are called swabs. And what these do is, as you can see, they got points on them. And what they do is get into the real tight corners, pick up the paint that may have messed up. You got everything fine, but at the end, you got to dab somewhere. This will get it right out. It's like having a towel on the end of it, okay? But these are little swabs. They almost look like Q-tips, but they are swabs, and they don't get soaked and then start the lint and everything. They keep their shape, and they'll get all the little corners that you can't get to with other things like a paper towel or something. This is for intricate work, okay? And then you're gonna have different types of things here that can hold a different type of part. Anything that you have, it could hold it. Say, for instance, let's see, whether it's a part here, okay, that you can clip onto and hold it while it's drying or while it's gluing together, while you hold. Like this has another part to it, but it may need to be clipped together to be held in place. That's where these alligator clips come in handy. And you see the extension on it, and you're like, where am I going to stand that up? I'm glad you asked. I'll show you. This is where you're going to stand it up, okay? I'm going to like put it down right here. And then what happens is you end up going right here. And say, for instance, if I glued something together, I would hold it on this part here. And then I would hold it up on that part right there. And then it stands up for me while it dries, okay? I know you can't see me, but basically, I want you to see what happens with it and what you can do with it. And there are other parts like magnifying glasses. I'll show you that sometime when we get to it. But just so you know, this is a base here that you can pick up. And then these are stems that you can pick up, alligator clips. With these come together, okay? And you can get a pack of them. And then they come in handy when you're really trying to keep things away from each other and try to keep them airborne pretty much while they're dry. But this here, and it's good for pieces that need to be tied together, but you can't really hold them because of they're so small. And these alligator clips come in handy, okay? So what else we got? Let's see. We also have these different types of decals, which is comes with it. Of course, you see the different types of decals from license plates to racing stripes. All of that is correlates to the unit itself. And as you can see, uh, they show you where they go, okay, and they'll tell you on the instructions what's the best way to do it. Some of them you put in water, and as you let them soak, they eventually come off this surface right here. But some smaller parts, they say cut out, and glue it. Okay, it just depends on where you're at and which one. But there's an asterisk that you'll see that generally tells you where the decal goes or whatever the case. If it's something special or whatever, there's a asterisk symbol right there, and you have to read it. And like this one says, in assembly drawing, some parts will be marked by a star to indicate chrome plated plastic. So some of these locations will be chrome plated. I'm gonna look for a star on here somewhere, and try to show right here. This, say for instance, 65 right here. You see that star right there? That means it's chrome plated and plastic. Okay, so that means you don't have to paint it or anything. It's already chrome plated for you, so you leave it alone. Okay, and all you have to do is break it off the piece, off the hanger, like this one, and then you're good to go, and just glue it in place. So whenever you see a star or something like an asterisk or something, it's generally indicating that you need to take caution with these guys here, and it's telling you where to put it and how to remove it from here. Sometimes they come where you have to cut them off if they're so small, or and then glue it, or that's usually on the dashboard with the instrument panel. That's usually when you get it. Like these little guys here, if they're on the outside of the frame and showing like decals or advertisers, like STP used to be a big one back in the day with the funny cars and with the dragsters. You would have usually STP, Lucas, Pennzoil. All of them had their logos on the side of these cars indicating they were sponsors for that particular vehicle. So, read the instructions again. Keep this guy here handy with this guy, and keep this out of place until you need it, so it don't get bent, misformed, deformed, out of shape, where you can't use it, because these will crack easily, these racing stripes, and they will tear them when you get them off. So you have to have tweezers or something to handle it, because if you handle it roughly, they will tear on you, and then it kind of makes for a ugly look. I've done it plenty of times. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not perfect, and I'll just glue it. But it's for my own personal use, not for me to show or anything, put it in a display or whatever. When I say personal use, I mean I just like looking at it, and I just need to be a little bit more that tells me next time how I should do it. And you gotta sometimes fail your way to success, and that's what it is, especially when dealing with intricate small items. Don't let all the steps scare you, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Okay, you can do it. You are just by watching this, you are willing to put in the work, and I can't wait to get started with this next time we meet. I got to set it up where I can show you how we are going to do the painting. So I'm going to get the baggies. I'm going to break all these parts off. I'm going to separate them according to my list that I showed you here. And then what we're going to do is have some fun, okay? We're going to have a little fun with it and go from there. But this is my list, and those parts will be broken off and in baggies and separated and ready to paint. You guys have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.